And then you see the captain, he's kind of looking at his window and says, yes. I thought it was best for us to meet and talk about what you have told me in private.
Question.
Yes.
What happens to my blade?
If it's out, I don't think
Is it out? If it's out, it's fine.
It's out sheathed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out and sheathed.
Yeah, I
it's
have
there.
it out and sheathed.
It's still there.
I was gonna say as well.
No.
Look, that thing's fucking out.
No. I'm pretty sure if you've casted it and it's out. And stuff. The captain kind of says, yes, I said it's best we speak in private in a secure location where we shouldn't be eavesdropped on and be able to discuss the matters further. It says I've took precautions to ensure that no prying eyes or ears could hear what we talk about in this room. Because as you could probably sense, you may sense something dampening your power, your magic and stuff. It was only the precautions that I could put in place to ensure that no outside force can listen in and hear us.
No, that's well planned, Captain.
It says I do try to plan for every circumstance and everything that can happen. So, please take a seat. And he points to like some seats around a small kind of like coffee table. And it says, can I interest you in a drink of tea, coffee, and stuff? And you can see him stronger. He kind of looks at you and he's like,
I'm a big fella after all.
Whiskey for the dragon.
Yeah,
like,
I lean in. I would like a glass of whiskey if you don't mind.
It says, for what we're probably going to talk about, I could probably see why. And he kind of goes to his, kind of like his desk, and you see him open the bottom drawer and pull out a bottle of whiskey. And pours 4 glasses of whiskey and stuff for you. Places one in front of you and pours one for himself.
Are we sitting at like a desk?
Yeah, so you're sitting and like, do you know if like you got like his desk and then you've got like
the seat around it?
Kind of like the seats around it, but it's like a coffee table with seats. So like a wee table with seats and his table. So he's
Don't even think about it, Henrik.
He's kind of sitting at his table where you use it as coffee table and you're having this conversation. So it's kind of
kick my feet up and lean back a little bit more casually.
He kind of doing that. It says
sipping the whiskey.
He kind of says, looks to you and it says, "Do you mind not putting your feet on my table?" It says, "Can you show some respect?"
I'm just gonna shake my head. Craven just shakes his head.
There she says. So anyhow, to the matter at fault here. He looks at you, Craven, and says, "This is what you told me in the discussions that you sent and that you spoke to me about. Have alarmed me in certain ways. The fact that what you've said that this, from memory, you told him it was the Duchess, didn't you?"
I told him everything Morlock told us, everything we found out.
It's kind of the fact that you're saying that the Duchess, one of the leaders who run Baldur's Gate, has orchestrated this. It's hard to believe. But this other stuff says, I believe your stuff. So how are we, and more likely, how are you going to deal with this? It says you're going after, from what it sounds like, you're going after the Duke of Baldur's Gate. It says,
yeah, we are going after the Duchess. Yeah,
that's
one of the ruling 5.
Ruling 4. One of the ruling council 4. It says, what is your next plan? It says, where are you going to do it? It's because I can tell you right now, it says, I won't be able to help you as much who you're going for. It says, She has power and she has influences in places I cannot help you. It says you will
Well,
need.
You do know the layout of the city, do you not?
I know the layout of the city, yes, and I could pretty much take.
Tunnels, sewers, a lot.
There is tunnels and sewers, yes, but none will reach her villa. It says you're going if the only way in is, in a sense, through the front door. And it's heavily guarded. It says your only way in is if you've got some sort of leverage against her. It says he also mentioned that her sons and stuff. It says
part of the
you said that obviously was it Murlock or Murlock, one of her youngest dogs. It says was running the bathhouse and the cultists were using this, but he was stuff. Whole confusing matter. I'm not going to lie.
He was being forced into it. He fled. He feared for his life.
I probably don't blame him.
He actually helped us in the end. He almost died in the fight.
I don't blame him. It says his mother's a fierce woman. It says I wouldn't want to get on her bad side. He also mentioned about the eldest son that he would be at his mother's side and stuff.
While surveying the city with imps,
Yes.
which we've had a run-in since, by the way.
You've had a run-in, it says.
One of the imps appeared in Bridget's room.
And you see Bridget now kind of bumps says yes, one appeared.
We
looking
can't rule out that they know we're here right now.
This
probably watched us arrive.
This is probably, if you had one at the end, there's probably they know you're here. But precautions have been put in place to make this chat as private as possible. I believe there is her final son. Her middle son.
Who runs his illicit business out of a low lantern.
He says, I've had some run-ins with him before, but nothing, I couldn't get anything to stick. We tried to bring him in. He says, yes, he does run his business from the I've got the hiccups as I'm talking about this, and it doesn't fucking help. It's like the worst time to get hiccups.
Yeah, he's the worst though. Holy shit.
From the low lantern. He says, yes, he says he's normally there and stuff running his money laundering business stuff. Although, come to think of it, he might be your best bet to get to the Duchess.
He might be.
Yeah, because it says you kind of see the captain kind of like says trying to go into the Duchess's villa straight in without something to kind of tip the scales in your favor. You'll be slaughtered upon entering.
A keep full of flaming fist guards.
It says that if I attempted that, she would make it sound like there was a coup and would send the watch.
Question though, right? Because obviously they're watching and they'll obviously be watching over each other.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go after the sun in the low lantern, they'll know we're coming.
Yes, but from what I've heard, she cares a lot about her two eldest sons.
And sadly, not enough about the third.
No, I believe the third Murloc was more of a... What's the word you would describe as? A bastard child.
Question. What do you think they would do if we offered them Mortlock?
Murtlock. Just as if you could just, you know where he is. It says, I don't think they would
Don't-
really care.
We don't need to know where he is. If we arrived at the gate to the villa
Mhm.
with Mortlock
Mhm.
in Flaming Fist custody,
Mhm.
would that be enough to get them to open the gate?
I would probably say no. The fact that she doesn't care, from what you told me, and from rumors that I have heard going about, she doesn't care much for him. To be honest, I think she would let him die and rot in prison and stuff. So she doesn't really care.
By the way, Mortlock spoke, it sounded like she'd be pretty invested in killing him herself.
Yeah, I think she would probably just slit his throat.
That's
But-
the thing, though. Would it be a way in?
In my honest
is a little way
opinion,
out
I
the
would
window.
say no. You would need,
'Cause,
if you were wanting to get in with, and I send someone in custody, your probably best bet is to go after the middle son.
yeah, that makes sense.
It says the fact that the eldest son, you said, doesn't leave his mother's side. He would probably in the villa with her.
Yeah,
The other middle son runs his business from there, the Low Latin. Capturing him and bringing him to the villa might be enough to get in,
but not guarantee our safety.
but not not guarantee your safety.
Okay, so as a tactician, your thoughts are to go after the Low Lantern first, and then use that as leverage to get into the villa.
Yes, if it was myself, I would say go to the Low Lantern, find the middle son, and either persuade him to help, or persuade him to help, take him out of the picture, as
Hmm.
there is no way to know if he has connections to what his mother has. Bring him as a hostage.
It sounded like he did, based on what Mortlock said.
Yes.
That he runs them. He just basically is their distributor. So
Yeah.
how would you deal with a location such as the Low Lantern?
Oh, the Low Latin. This is Low Latin is fairly. It's not as big as the old sailing ship that's been converted into a tavern.
Many guards or
You kind of see him think. It
Fuck.
says, from what I remember, not many guards. I would say no more than 4 or 5 at most. But
Have you been there yourself?
I says I have been there myself. Yes. I says,
Do you know the layout?
yeah, I know the upper deck and the tavern floor
Okay.
and stuff, but I don't know the lower deck. I've never been to the lowest deck. It says I've been to the upper deck and the 2 floors of the tavern. The lower deck I've never been to.
Check him
Yeah, on you go.
on whether he's telling the truth about not knowing what's on the lower deck.
No, on you go. Yeah. 13. He's telling you the truth. He has never been to the lower. You can, from his insight checking him, he's speaking to you the truth. He's never been to the lower deck.
Okay,
Okay.
so from what we've heard, a lot of illicit business goes in and out of the Low Lantern, right?
I wouldn't say illicit business. This is the person that runs the tavern. They call her the captain. Just a name that she goes by. She runs a legitimate business. She runs her tavern and stuff. It's just It's just that Amric runs his laundering business from there, and I believe she's been persuaded to allow him to run his business from there.
So a similar setup to the bathhouse, where they came in as a co-owner and threatened the life of the other owner.
Potentially, yes. It says, I don't know the arrangement they have. I just know that she doesn't stop him much from running his business or running his money scheme.
I'm not going to lie. If the low lantern was not up to standard, I was going to sink it.
He obviously kind of looks at you and says, you may struggle to sink it. She isn't seaworthy, but she is well moored and well beached to the harbour.
Beached.
And it's kind of like beached, but there's still water around it. Because there's still water going around it, but it's very well secured to the harbour.
I was not gonna lie, my strategy to try and get to the sun was going to light the alcohol storage.
I could see where you were going at, but we don't know if he is. We don't know what the circumstances on this boat is. We don't know if he has something against the captain of the tavern, or we don't know what the other willingly working. If she's working with him, we don't know if the other patrons in that bar are just innocent bystanders.
Well, I was thinking a fire would flush everyone out, and then while they're in the water, would allow us to quickly pick him up.
Yes. I can see where that would come from, but I believe if we started a fire, we could. Yes, you are right. We could kill him, but also the fact is that many of the members of Baldur's Gate may aid in the recovery and to assist putting the fire out, and we don't know who we can trust.
Reasonable. Okay, so you said you know the rough layout, right?
Yes.
Do you know how to get to where he runs his business?
Yes, and stuff. I can walk you through it if you want. This is not too difficult, and I can draw you a crude diagram and stuff.
Okay. Just give me quick directions, just so I know what I'm looking at.
So, upon arriving at the tavern, I'll draw a circle on the map for you to see it.
The tavern's this one here, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff. It is the one you pointed at. It is the dark. It's kind of the grey boat on the dock.
Yeah.
In the map, it says this is the location of the low lantern. It is an old sailing ship. It has 4 floors. You've got the upper deck, or the top side, that contains obviously the 2 upper decks and a set of stairs, kind of like an old, do you remember when we played Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
The wheel thing. Imagine that, but you've got the upper deck on the one side. You got 2 upper decks, if that makes sense. And stuff. And then obviously, you've got the bit in the middle. The bit in the middle, on the opposite side of the stairs, upon going up to the boat, there is a set of stairs that head down. Those stairs aren't guarded. There's no one normally there. That is the entrance to the tavern.
Yes.
Upon entering the tavern, you will notice that the tavern, or the tavern deck as she likes to call it, is a fairly open layout. You have a locked room, which only I can determine is maybe sleeping quarters or storage. A locked room, and upon entering, there is obviously the bar, where typically either the captain or one of our employees are there. So there's also a number of tables scattered around this deck that Members of the public will be seated, normally are seated and drinking and stuff. In the center of this floor, on the center of this deck, there is another set of stairs that head down to the lounge. This deck, this is as far as I've ever gone. This deck is fairly similar to the deck above. There is a bar near the middle of this floor, and at the very back of the boat is some seats where Amric is normally sitting, doing his business.
Is there many people normally with him?
Whenever I've been there, no. But there are other patrons and obviously some guards that protect the lowland. It says, I've never managed to get him off the ship because normally by the time I do that, some higher up has gave me orders to release him.
Okay, so what if, as a group, we create a distraction, get the attention of either the tavern floor or the lounge?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to get there first. If we go through the city, they'll pretty obviously see it. And if they are warned, our target could be long gone before we get there.
Mm-hmm.
We need a way of going through the city without being seen.
I'll get to that, but I'm just throwing something out there. If we can make it there.
Yep.
And if we can cause a distraction
Mm-hmm.
on either the tavern or lounge floors
Mm-hmm.
and get people's attention there.
Mhm.
If one of us could get into the room with Emmerich without being seen,
A cough. Cough, cough.
it'll either be you or me.
Or me, I've got the cloak. I don't have the cloak.
You do, but that comes. I have a plan, which I will say in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
If he says this might work, I'll go into more detail.
Yeah.
If one of us could get into that room with Emmerich without being seen,
He kind of
in
stops
that-
you there and says it's not necessarily a room he's in. It's more of a cordon off part of the ship.
well, if one of us can sneak right up behind the motherfucker,
Yeah.
without being seen,
Now
Put
you
a
see
blade-
into the water.
put a blade to his throat. Would you think we could pressure him off that ship?
You all see the captain kind of take a moment to think about this, and he's like, hmm. I
Would you like
believe.
more details of this?
Yes, I would like a little bit more details. What you do say is promising.
Okay. So we have a very large bard with a very large cloak.
Yes.
If we can get onto the tavern floor,
Mhm.
the bard can put on a performance.
Of course.
Both
Okay.
myself and El Nino are casters. We're mages.
Yes.
We can perform a magician's magic trick and either make myself or Senric disappear from behind his cloak.
Yes.
In reality, we'll be making him invisible.
Okay.
While invisible, either myself or Senric, whichever one ends up being the one to do it,
Mhm.
will make their way down into the lower decks to Emmerich, and take him off of the low lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that would work?
I believe it might.
The biggest curveball.
There's only one thing you left out of the situation.
Mm.
An oil flask.
No.
It's a big wooden ship.
It says your plan has promise.
We were literally
big
told not to
wooden
start a
ship.
fire.
Hey, it doesn't have to be a flaming oil flask. It can be used to blind people.
It says your plan has promise.
Besides that,
To take, to in a
besides
sense,
that,
to take him.
if he doesn't want to come with us, even when threatened,
Mhm.
then that is our plan. We are not only surrounded by all 5 of his guards,
But we'll also
Cendric
be in that
also-
room. We'll also be in that room with them alone.
It says
True.
yes. It says, but remember, it's not a room. It's an open cordon off bit that he has.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll also be invisible.
Yes, it says your plan has promise. Yes, I'll give you that. It says it might work. This
Okay.
is whether I says I won't be able to really assist you and stuff in this, as you are in a sense going after one of the Duchess or Duchess's sons. It says this is entering territory that I could make sure the Flaming Fist don't interfere.
Okay, that's good.
The
That's
watch and the private guard that protect the council floor members. That, on the other hand, I can't interfere with.
What about? Okay, here's a question. The Flaming Fist obviously deal with all manner of criminals.
Oh,
in this city,
manner.
correct?
Within the lower city, yes. It says
Well-
there is the watch that deal with more of the higher up stuff.
That makes sense. However, you deal with all manner of criminals, and obviously, considering you've got a magic dampening field in this room, you have access to a few hard to obtain items, shall we say.
I wouldn't say hard to obtain items. It says this room is naturally protected against. It's naturally protected against people listening in. This is the
Okay.
private, in a sense, the private chambers where the leaders of the Flaming Fist can talk about matters that they don't want people to know about.
Well, possibly it's more powerful than you expected because we can't use our magic at all in here.
It's designed to be secure.
However, I was wondering, what kind of potions do you have access to in this building that you could lend us?
Oh, it says potions. It says we have the standard array of potions that most people would have. Maybe some healing potions and other ones. And it says,
But
why? What?
But you also deal with criminals.
We do, yes. Yes.
Do you have something that could put someone to sleep?
Sleep. And you kind of have him, you see him kind of like think.
Like non-lethal potion, knock someone out.
Sounds
kinda-
like you're trying to
How good
catch
is
a
your right
charge.
Cedric, how good is your right arm?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sleep. Oh, I got something that can put someone to sleep. I would say we don't have. Normally, when we deal with criminals, we deal with them by force.
I'm aware, but I was thinking for like transportation purposes.
Normally, they're not conscious by the time we're finished with them and stuff. So, you know,
Right, flaming fist for a reason.
yes.
You see what my backup plan was. If you didn't want to go
Yeah,
willingly,
yes. I see what your
chug.
backup
gonna make
plan
a
is.
chug
Yes.
potion.
You kind of think this is, I believe your plan, if it does succeed correctly, is it should give you the upper hand.
Cool. I am gonna need one big help from the Flaming Fist.
What help would you be looking for?
The element of surprise.
So, do you mean like a way to get there without being detected?
If we go through the city, we will be seen. Yes.
Mm.
Boat.
A boat.
We need a boat.
We did a boat.
We need to be able to go from this island or from near this island directly to the lowland.
Full Royal Marine Commando.
If we go through that city, we will be seen.
Be the best you can be.
Oh my god, I fucking hate you. I don't have that fucking advert going through my head, you bastard.
Because yeah, if we go back through the city, we will be seen and they will know we're coming. Especially since we've been here.
I believe we could get you a boat that you can get over. The issue would be it would only get you so close. It says that the low lantern would involve you going into a very tight part of the harbour.
Well, here's the idea. So it doesn't really matter where we moor to the harbour.
Mm-hmm.
It's a much shorter distance.
Yes.
So if we go by boat, moor to the harbour, quickly make it to the lowland and get inside, do whatever we do. Once we have him, we can then throw him in the boat and go and come back across. Either to here or straight to the villa.
I say getting him straight to
Either
the
way-
villa would be virtually impossible because you would have to go through the upper gates, and the harbour doesn't reach the upper gates. Bringing him back here wouldn't be the best bet for the sole reason. Yes, you are correct. My El Nino says we might think we are staging a coup.
Okay.
I think once you capture him, your best bet is to get as quickly to the villa as possible.
Okay. What about this?
Mhm.
Well, what about this? Can you spare a uniform?
A uniform.
I have a disguise kit. I can make it look like whoever.
I could give you a uniform. It says.
Because wait, you have disguise self, but that only affects yourself.
No, I have a disguise kit. I can
Okay.
use the kit to disguise whoever I want.
Fair enough.
I
was thinking if we were given a Flaming Fist uniform,
Mhm.
we could get him in the boat,
Mhm.
shove him in the uniform and the helmet, and then walk him to the villa without people knowing it's him.
Interesting.
Because let's face it, even though it will be a Flaming Fist coming up to the villa gate, once we pull off the helmet and they see it's him, there's no coup involved. We've stolen a uniform.
Yes. But it also give you the element of surprise upon arriving at the villa.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes. It says, I should be able to get a uniform. Shouldn't be too difficult, and for a boat, it shouldn't be too difficult as well to take you from here to as close as possible. Because I think the closest the boat would get you would be
I have
couple
a feeling
100 feet.
It's gonna be probably about here. Or if we make it into this part of the harbour, probably like here or something.
In his mind, he's like, probably here.
We could drop Senric off there, where Bert's just pinged, and then we can go more up.
That would probably the closest the boat could get you.
Okay, so
Senric can just swim.
see the ping.
Well, the thing is,
this map's really
we're
big,
going
that's why.
we're going to enter together and then do a little magic trick where probably Senric or I just a fucking peer.
We're talking about here, Nova.
If Senric can
Okay,
control the
now I
speed
see it. I don't know why it wasn't showing up.
That's not a ping,
This is
that's
really
a
smart.
marker. It's this map's so fucking big. It's just a thing I've
Yeah.
seen you do it. It says, so if this is something the user want to do, it can be done. It says it will take it would take me a few hours to do and get to speak to some people to get the boat and to get me the gear. It says it's not something that could happen instantly.
That's
It says it'll take about half a day roughly.
which will give us. Okay. Yeah, that could work.
It says it's trying to find people. I'm trying to get the people I can trust in this. There's a few people I have in mind that have been by my side for many years, and I trust them with my life. I would need to get them and get them to get the items, the boat, and the boat is the bit that will be the hardest bit to get.
Yeah.
This is the armor. I could walk down to the fucking armory and get that myself. The boat will take about half a day to get. I would need to speak to people I trust in the Flaming Fist and get one of them to get a boat.
So, but by the way, when you sent us on that mission after the cultists, were you aware it might have gone further?
Oh, they mentioned to deal with the dead free.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would go further than eliminating the threat of the cultists. I didn't think that actually that one of the Duchess of the Duchess would be part of this. I thought it was just people from outside Baldur's Gate and trying to cause havoc.
What if the threat of repeating the incident that happened at
That has me alarmed. Repeating what happened to Elturel here?
Yeah.
That has me on edge and has me on high alert. It says if she had anything to do with our leader of the flame, our leader vanishing in Elturel, and it was she that caused it, means she has power in places I've never thought of. It says
I think more than likely they're not the ones with the power. They're trying to get in control so they can allow whatever does have the power in.
potentially, yes. I think that's potentially the same as good, but if they are capable of doing this and threatening the entirety of Baldur's Gate, doing the same fate as Elturel, then we have to take measures to stop her.
I may have a plan to find out how they intended on doing that.
Yes. It says if we knew how they were planning on doing it, it would greatly help. It would help us think
I
of...
may have spent a large sum of gold recently on something to determine this.
Yes, as if we can get the information of what they're trying to do. Yes.
As I revealed the small vial.
Okay, but probably in the small vial, he kind of looks at it and he goes, "Ah, I see." It says, you plan on using that on the
Duchess, if I have the opportunity.
Yes. It says that, yes, that would work. That would get the information we would need. But yes, it says that should work. So, it is settled that the plan is that you will go to the low lantern and stuff.
I believe so.
Excellent.
So,
Well then.
in the In the meantime,
Mhm.
as you're organizing this,
Mhm.
what should we do?
Go about your business as normal. And return to here, the keep, in a few hours. Say just before, just in the late afternoon. Would be the best bet. The cover of darkness, I think, would be to our advantage. Just if we get here just before late afternoon, early evening, the cover of darkness we could use to our advantage.
Okay. There's something I kind of want to. There's a couple of things I actually want to do in the city.
Mhm.
Okay.
While we wait. So
Sure.
So
that works.
Yep, that's fine.
let me
So
make sure I got the plan straight.
Yep.
So we're going by in a boat. We're gonna
No.
get a
Yep.
boat. We're gonna go by the area in a boat.
The Flaming Fist is providing the boat.
We're gonna drop off Sneaky Boy, whichever Sneaky Boy we go with. Sneaky
Mhm.
Boy sneaks in, kidnaps individual,
Well,
disguises
actually,
individual as
Well,
someone that
okay.
they're not.
while you discuss this
Okay,
plan with each other,
I'm-
I'm going to go and grab a drink. So I'll be 2 seconds.
Correct.
okay. So the plan is we get there by boat. We all go in as a group, right? We cause a distraction, probably in the form of a show via our bard. During said show, whoever decides to be Sneaky Boy will be disappeared as part of a magic trick, in which case I will be making them invisible.
I'll try and enthrall any guard that tries to fucking stop us as well.
Yep.
I've got a
Invisible, invisible Sneaky Boy will make their way to Emmerich, and basically force them to come with us.
kidnap,
Yeah, we kidnap them.
said Emmerich.
We use them as a hostage. So we try to make their guards not want to attack. Make our way back to the boat and disappear into the bay. While in the boat, we use the uniform and your disguise kit
Yeah,
to turn them into a flaming fist, or just a suit of armor, whichever way.
yeah.
We then determine the fastest way to get to the villa, which we'll do as we walk back to Eastway, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So as we walk back to Eastway, we'll pay attention to where all the gates to the upper city and to the villa are.
Mhm.
And we'll try and figure out like where's the fastest place to like quickly moor and jump the fuck up. Right?
Mm.
Right.
We then walk from wherever we decide to moor straight to the gate with a flaming fist member.
That's what I'd rather.
Make it to the gate of the villa and rip the helmet off saying we have your son.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get ourselves in there and then fuck them up.
So one of the hurdles is there going to be guards at these gates posted?
Do you, by what gates? Do you mean the gates to the upper city?
These,
Mm.
yeah, the gates to the
Yes.
other city.
So this would be general knowledge. There are people at the gates to the upper city. They are the Flaming Fist.
Well,
So-
if they're flaming fist guards, they'll get us in as soon as we flash a deputy badge.
True.
The captain did say that. She
Especially-
says yes. If you show them their badge, they'll let you through.
Yeah, especially since he's made a point that he'll make sure that
Yeah.
the guard don't get in our way.
I could also
So
make
we
put
can't
out
have
word.
a flaming fist. We can't have him. We can't have him in a flaming fist uniform. If we're going through it.
Oh, we can just
Because
rip. We can just rip the flaming fist banner off of it and just have it as a suit of armor.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's more the helmet to cover his face, so no one knows who he is until we get to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
villa. Until we
Mhm.
get to the villa gate.
Yeah, that should work. That should work.
Okay.
Should be fine.
So if that's the plan, captain does say obviously it will take a couple hours to get the effing in place.
Hmm.
So what are you going to do?
So we're going to make our way back through the city while determining the fastest route from the water to the city gate.
Oh, so is this the stakeout slash scoping the place, like finding out the best
Well,
route?
we're scoping the place as we go about our business.
Okay.
Because I also want to go get my fucking sword on a sling.
Okay. This is fucking brilliant. Right, lads, do this. Right. So you make your way. In a sense, the captain kind of nods at you, and kind of like allows you to leave. Upon leaving the room, obviously you feel your magic return, and the captain actually walks with you to the exit, and it kind of doesn't, in a sense, talk to you in the way that he's giving you orders, but in a way to hide, to make, in a sense, he's ordering you what you're going to be doing, sort of thing.
Yep.
And upon reaching the gates of the fortress, he says, "Be back here." He kind of clearly says to the people at the gate, says, "Be back here at nightfall, and we will continue our discussion further of your kind of the way he says it, kind of your what's the word I'm looking for? Not indoctrination, your
Induction?
induction fully into the Flaming Fist."
Cool.
And you just kind of all look at him and they kind of all nod. He nods and about turns and goes back in to the fortress, and yous are on the bridge. Lead back to the mainland.
Yeah, so should we make our way back through the streets of like Bloomridge and the steps while sort of staking out the fastest way to the villa?
So you're kind of like following the. I'm getting so you're like kind of keeping to the water, the harbour, to see your fastest way.
Can I like how can I do this?
Where is the
Villa.
Okay, it's there. Okay, so one sec.
I'll make this
The
easier.
villa is this building here,
Yes.
right? Which means we're probably going to want to go through like this gate here.
So I'll just make a marker for people on the stream to see this, and allow Nova to see it. We're talking there.
Yeah, so that's the villa. So would we want to come through like this gate just here?
So you guys are wanting to go through Grand Gate, G-O-N-D Gate.
Because that's the closest to the villa. Meaning we could just straight up moor in this corner, like just come up with our boat, slam into this corner, bolt to that gate, get in, come around like this corner, go straight to the villa. Because that's minimal distance.
I'm like in my mind, I'm just watching you in my fucking full fucking heist fucking style. Like, okay, lads, let's do this. Fucking going through like planning the route.
So can I go up to like I would like to go up to like a sailor. So as we're on our way up here, obviously we're passing by a lot of like boats and shit.
Yeah.
That are like docked here. Can I go up to a sailor like that's off the end of the dock? So how can I do this? Because I don't know whether they're gonna hear me or not. Could we be spied on? Could fuck this up. No.
I don't know what you're trying to do, so I can't. I don't know what you're trying to do here.
I want to know. Oh, nah, there's no way. There's no way, because they would see. They would see that they're here. So, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it. No. I was going to ask, like, a sailor, like, what the dock patrol's like on the other side of the docks. Is there, like...
Oh.
Flaming Fist there? Is there town guard? Is there
no?
goons?
So this would be this would be general knowledge that you used to know from your time here. It's typically around the harbour is Flaming Fists patrol up and down the harbour.
Okay, that's good. All right.
That's general. That would be general knowledge. No. Oh, that's general knowledge.
Corrupt towns guard
No.
just fucking.
No, so the way this is general knowledge for you is the way Baldur's Gate is. The upper city and lower city are kind of split into two. The lower city that you have for right now you have been in, the Flaming Fist patrolled pretty much the whole thing. The upper city, that's where you get into more of that being patrolled by the Watch, as it's called. Which is more like the
but
posh
my general
fucking ones.
thing about it was like, is there any strange like our town's guard like wandering down to this harbour, like as a means of saving face whilst protecting their one of their corrupt family members? That's what I was going to ask the sailor, because he would know that. He would know, like, if something weird was going on down there. But I don't know whether I should ask.
You would need to ask.
Precisely.
You need to ask that one.
But if I ask, then we're gonna get fucking.
We're gonna get heard, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that you would need to ask. So, you begin to walk through the city. As you walk through, you're obviously planning your route, kind of scoping the places out of the best ways to get to and from the harbour to the Go and Gate to get to the villa. Do you go through the gate into the upper city?
No, not at this point.
Okay. So you're like in a sense, it's okay.
We're just sort of eyeing things off as we like walk down the center walkway.
Yep, that's fine.
And stuff like
That's
that.
fine. And stuff. And you do have a map of Baldur's Gate that kind of shows you the ways and stuff as you can and stuff. So as you make your way through this Bloom Ridge, the steps back to east side and east way, you just plan your way. You kind of like plan and discuss your plan that you've put in place.
I'm also going to mention to the group that I actually ordered something from Maltz that I need to go pick up.
Going to ask, I'm assuming the party is going to Maltz.
Yeah.
Yep, so you make your way back to Maltz. It's been about 2 hours. You were in the keep for a number of hours discussing the plan in more detail and stuff compared to what we discussed. Upon arriving at Maltz, you see Maltz himself at the counter, and upon seeing you enter, he goes, "Ah, yes!" And you see him reach down and bring out your sheath that has been altered, a sheath that has been altered to your specifications.
Cool. I'm going to walk up, and I will very happily take it off his hands and sling it over my shoulder.
Yep.
So that the sword rests on my back.
Yep.
And then sort of say, like, there you go, I now have my weapon and my backup weapon.
Perfect.
Because, that's sort of the idea.
Yep. He kind of looks at you. Is there anything else I can help you with? Is he kind of looks at the rest? Is there anything I can help you with? And he kind of looks at you, Eleanor, and goes, "Oh, it's a nice cloak you have. Looks very stylish. And it suits you, shall I say?"
Thank you.
Is there anything you require?
No.
No?
Henrik,
Okay.
do you require anything? Do you want anything?
Senec, is there anything you'd like?
Then
I have no money, so.
I was
Fuck, I was muted.
you need it from it kind of like Melts is asking like, do you need anything I can help you with?
No, I'm good.
Excellent. It says, well, if that is all, I'll get back to my needs. And you kind of see him kind of going back to taking like inventory of what he has in the store.
Okay.
So you have some hours to kill here. So what are you going to do?
I know something I would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the rest of the party would like to do it though. We might end up splitting up until we meet back up at the sea tower.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to go back to the enchanted item shop and talk to the shop owner.
Oh,
Sorcerer's
Can-
Sunday.
Yeah, Sorcerer's
what I would like to
Sundries.
do, I would like to go. Obviously, because of my cloak, I kind of want to kind of try and stealthily. Maybe actually, I might disguise myself.
Mm-hmm.
And take a token. Actually, I don't know. Can I speak back through your token, Knuckles?
You
No.
cannot speak back through it now.
It's one-way communication.
I kind of wanted to just fucking stake out the boat. I kind of wanted to just fucking hide myself, stake out the boat,
Uh-huh.
just see if anything changes, and then I was gonna contact you, but I don't know actually how it.
I mean, we do have a meeting place where we know we're gonna be, so you can do that, and then we just make our way back there.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Okay.
I'll find myself. Actually, where can I? I'm
No.
going to an alleyway.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go to an alleyway, the darkest one I can fucking find,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to disguise myself
Mhm.
as a little old woman with a bag of flowers, petals.
I'm sorry. I'm imagining this like 6 foot tall old woman. Because remember, I think it's like
As a foot. It's a foot.
Yeah, you gotta make yourself seem 1 foot shorter, so you're now 5 foot 8.
But I can hunch over as well, like really fucking dig into it. Plus, my cloak will just turn into like a haggard old fucking.
Yeah.
And I have a giant nose, big curly hair.
Okay.
Great.
So
How do I look, Craven?
you disguised yourself.
You look horrifying.
Oh my god.
But like
Okay.
a flower. Fuck you, it's an illusion. And I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk over to our station and stake out that fucking boat.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna make my way to Sorcerer's
Okay.
Sundries.
So so this is gonna happen. So since in a sense, El Nino, you're wanting to head to the low Latin, and the rest of the party
I'll like.
Well, I don't know what the rest of I don't know what Cedric and that's doing.
So Bridget's just going to follow you.
I'm sticking with Craven.
They're going to follow you. Right. So
Yeah.
El Nino, you're kind
I
of
don't really know what the fuck.
aye. So
I'm like, man, this guy's being weird.
so you're so actually like pictures in my head. So you're not going to the low Latin. You're kind of just walking past and staking it out.
I'm gonna sit off for a while, doing old woman things like
Yeah.
offering
Old
people
woman
flowers and
things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw one pick up a piece of trash like the other day, so it's just how old women.
This
Okay.
could be useful.
Oh my god. I'm just trying
I'm
to
gonna sit there.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna monitor it, so I'm gonna like stake it out like a cop. I'm gonna monitor it,
Uh-huh.
watch the ins and outs, and see
Uh-huh.
if he leaves.
Okay.
Basically,
I just need to know you're not entering it though. I need to know this.
I'm not entering it. I'm not.
Perfect.
I'm barely going near it. I'm just
This is-
near it, close enough to it that I can see. I've got
I
line of
just-
sight.
I needed to know that because if you were, I just needed to know. Right. Okay, so you do that. The rest of the party are heading to Sorcerer's Sundays. Correct? Okay.
Yep.
So we'll deal with Sorcerer's Sundays first. Then we'll deal with El Nino. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
This is the reason I'm doing that because after we've dealt with you, El Nino, that'll be us for tonight. Stuff, because that would be a perfect point to stop it is when we deal with your part. Right, so you head to Sorcerer's Sundays.
Sorcerer's Sundries. Let's go.
Yep. So you make your way there, it's open, and you
Cool.
can see the owner.
Yep. So we head in.
Yep, so you head in. Upon heading in, the owner, the owner, I fucking can't say his name, my brain's not working. Sees you and goes, It says welcome back. It says how can I help you today?
Well, thanks to yesterday's purchases, we're kind of short on funds. So
Yes, this is I can imagine.
I'm actually not here for purchases.
Oh, so what are you here for then?
You said that you used to be an adventurer,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering if we could hear about some of your adventures.
Oh, okay.
Especially since some of them brought you to know a particular language,
Okay.
as well as
Motherfucker.
meeting your Fey friend.
You motherfucker. Yes. It says yes. It says I could talk to you about my adventures and stuff. So he kind of points to like a small, kind of like a desk. Not like you know, like kind of like a library, like the desks, like kind of like a
Yeah.
table with chairs around it.
Yeah.
Kind of points to one of them. Says, "Please take a seat, and I will tell you about my adventures."
I will take a seat.
You just take a seat. I am not going to fucking sit and talk about an adventure because I hate you so much.
Give me like dot points.
Okay. Dot points. He was an adventurer.
Just give me the important parts.
He was an adventurer who originally was based in Baldur's Gate. Him and his party went on many adventures and dealt with a few evil cults that were trying to summon a demonic presences into the world. Upon doing so, he obviously met many evil foes and knew, in a sense, learned a lot about them and their languages. In turn, he decided to spend, this was in his early years, in his mid to late years, in his mid years, he decided to go and study at one of the local mage colleges and stuff, and decided to go and study and learn more about the evil and kind of the dark side of the arcane, but more on how to stop it, and in turn was able to learn a lot and be able to read and understand their language. I'm pretty sure it's Infernal off the top of my head. Doing so,
Infernal and Abyssal is the main one that
so
not many people know.
he learned, in a sense, those languages. Upon doing that and going back to party and back adventures, he then went on many more adventures. Some of which, when he describes it to you, is obviously, you can tell he's kind of like...
Exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah, exaggerating and stuff. But you can kind of get that he's telling the truth. He tells you that on his last adventure, with him and his party, they lost, sadly, one of the members. He kind of talks about he lost their barbarian in a battle with a demon that was summoned. And upon defeating the demon and taking their fallen part member to their resting place outside of Baldur's Gate in the graveyard outside of Baldur's Gate, he mentions that that's where he discovered the fey creature, sphere creature, and in a sense, that kind of is when he gave up adventuring. Him and his party decided to split up and stuff and take up other businesses, and that's where he found this fey creature, or the fey creature may have found him. We don't know. He doesn't know, and they both kind of needed each other. So it was kind of like a relationship that he was mourning the loss of his friend and having, in a sense, someone or some someone or something new that could distract him and learn about that he's never seen before, sort of thing. And this the Fae creature, the Fae, it's like was kind of lost in this world, didn't know much, and in a turn has learned a lot from him, and in a turn he's learned a lot from them. And it's kind of like this to and from relationship that they learn from each other, but it's that sort of thing. It's like a relationship that they trust each other, and that sort of thing. That's kind of the points.
Cool. So after hearing these stories and say, okay, so it'd be fair to describe you as a learned mage who has had dealings with the demonic.
Yes.
Okay.